guys, how's it going? So a couple of things today. First off, we are starting in the Hartley where it's pretty comfortable in here. So we have all the shades pulled. The AC unit is running to kind of keep the edge off, but it's 104 degrees outside, and if I look sweaty right now, it's just because I was walking around outside and I just got done watering in the greenhouse and then came in here. Probably should have waited till I cooled down a bit, but it does feel very comfortable in here. You know, if you move yourself into the really sunny part, like out of the shade, it gets a little bit more toasty, but I'm just so thrilled with this whole space, and I'm excited to show you some of the things that have gone down, not a ton, but the sink and the counter are in, not 100%, like it's not plumbed yet. I have the faucet, but the faucet hasn't put in yet. I also want to show you my very rough sketch of the gardens that will go in around the Hartley, kind of share the vision, possibly. I hope that my sketch kind of conveys the vision that I'm going for. And we're getting very, very close to being able to start that. At this point, I almost feel like we should wait until after this heat spell. You know, next week we're supposed to get 107, and I know a lot of you guys are getting even hotter than that right now. You know, we're getting so much more close to cooler temperatures that maybe we should just wait until then to put in boxwoods and things like that. But either way, we are getting closer. We're going to end up in the cut flower shed. So not really in nothing else has been done out there. It looks exactly the same as the last time I've showed you, except for all of my vases are still sitting in crates and scattered on the floor and on tables, and I do have a couple of hutches in there. So I thought we would take a few minutes and just organize my vases into the hutches, and I hope that's not too awful boring to you guys. But I just really wanted to do some inside stuff today and not, I don't know. It just seemed like extra hot today for some reason. And I actually have alarms set on my phone to go in and switch the laundry because I've got everybody's swimming clothes going through the wash right now because I'm going to take the kids out to swim this evening. Okay, we're going to start outside so we can come through the front door for perspective. That always helps. So going through the front door, you can see the table in the center. I've been burning a candle in here, which has been so nice because this AC unit, it's weird. The mini split right there had that weird plastic smell when it was first installed, and I don't smell it anymore, and I think it's because I've just been doing some scented candles. It's working out. Also on this side, you can see, well, first off, the counter right here. This is a custom, and I'll kind of explain why we went with custom, but you'll also notice this table right here, which is one that my mom and I picked up on an antiquing trip. I meant to put it out in the cut flower shed, but I thought that this would be a really fun area to put like a little topiary collection or a collection of African violets or something like that. And this is easy to move. It's lighter weight, so we can move it, you know, over here. This is the shadier side, so that might be more appropriate depending on what kind of plants I end up with. So anyway, I'm just kind of trying stuff out. And then this countertop. I am loving it so much. So I did pick out the legs, and the reason I like this design right here. The reason why I wanted it open on the bottom was because I wanted to use this as like pot storage, like stacked terracotta pots. I think that would look really pretty in here, and it would be handy to have them right by the countertop. I also chose these legs on purpose because I had some play right here and right here to shave off some height should we want to, because here was the concern. I didn't know if this would bug me. This is a standard height right here for your countertop, and it's a really comfortable working height. If we would have done it lower, that would have felt so awkward to bend that low to do anything. That would have made it like 25 or 26 inches. So this is so much more comfortable. I just didn't know if this would bother me, having this come up, and I honestly, it hasn't even bothered me from the day one, from the first day it was in here. But I thought having these legs to where we could, you know, take something off should we need to or want to, that would be kind of handy, the bug. Okay, the countertop is quartz. So white with that gray kind of marbling throughout. I didn't want too much gray in it. I mean, I love them with more gray, but I didn't want too much because I didn't want it to contrast the Hartley structure too much. I wanted it to kind of blend in, which I feel like it does beautifully. And then a white granite sink right here, which we have, they just came back to drill the hole, and I've got my faucet. The plumber's actually coming to install the faucet and then hook up all the water. They're gonna install a little water heater, like right here, and a filtration system. So everything is like good to go for drinking. I can have hot water if we need it out here. It'll just make it much more usable, versatile. Got my little monogram napkins right here. I have been keeping some sort of fresh flowers in here, either on the counter or on the center table over here, and that's been really fun. I was unsure if it was gonna work in here because I thought, well, even with the AC unit, we're not gonna keep it like inside temperatures, so the flowers are not gonna last. And it might be that they last like one less day than they do inside, but it's so fun to look out here in the evenings. I see like a candle flickering and I see a flower arrangement, and even though I don't have many plants in here, I only have one in here, it makes it feel like there's more life in this space. So the only thing at this point, other than getting the water hooked up, that we're waiting on for inside is the dining table, which it's a 48-inch table that goes, you know, right in the middle of these chairs. I'm gonna be putting some more plants along the outer sides and then kind of around these corners here. The fig is doing surprisingly well. I was worried for it, you guys. I thought, well, it fits this corner perfectly, but it's gonna be right by the AC unit. Is it gonna deal with that okay? And so far it hasn't stressed at all. It's been in here for weeks. And it looks great. The figs, no fig droppage yet, no fruit droppage. They're all just looking really good, sizing up, no stressed leaves. It gets water about twice a week in here. So I am so thrilled about that. And I can't wait for the table to arrive. I ordered it from a place called, I'm gonna spell it because I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Arhaus, Arhaus. Anyway, it was a table I ordered in April. It said it was going to be delivered in July. Now it's looking like I'm not going to get it till sometime next month in August, which doesn't really matter at this point. We come out here and use these chairs anyway, but it will be a more versatile space once we have a table here and I can put like my computer on it when I've got some work to do, or we can bring our meals out here, especially as we get closer into fall, and we can have, you know, doors open in here and just really enjoy this outside space. And honestly, up to this point, I have regretted 0 design choices that we've made in here. And I think that maybe going slow, having everybody, you know, so busy and everything so backed up and shipping backed up too, it's really given us time to make decisions, and we've been able just to do everything a little bit slower, and it's kind of nice in a way. Okay, so now I want to show you my sketch for the gardens around this structure. Aaron and I actually started staking things out today, running strings, and it was just so hot. We were like, what are we doing outside in the middle of the afternoon, 100+ degrees, running strings in this hot powder dirt? Like, why don't we wait until early morning or later in an evening? So we will keep working on that. In fact, I did start filming it and our cameras just kept shutting off, and I just thought, this is not working. So anyway, you couldn't really see anything anyway. I'll show you when we have it all mapped out. So I do think that as we get more and more into the measurements and stuff, this plan will change slightly, but it's got the overall look I'm going for. No matter where I put this screen in here, there is a bit of a glare. Sorry about that, but I think we can see detail clear enough to get a sort of a picture of what we're gonna go for in this area. So if I start backed up, you can see the house down here. We call this the front of the Hartley because that's, you know, the direction we look at it from the most often. You also see it as you're driving up this way. This is a raised bed garden, greenhouse, barn, back formal garden. This is where the brick patio used to be, which we will end up with some sort of patio in that area, probably with a material close to what is on the floor in here. So something close to this. Most likely, maybe larger pieces. And we do intend on putting a centerpiece in here lined up with this opening. You can see I did a real great job of measuring and everything here. So I do expect these lines to change slightly as we start to map everything out, like I was saying before. So we want to do either like a water feature or even a raised bed again, just something that's maybe constructed a little better than the last one, that's got real good drainage. The last one was just falling apart. So we want to have something centerpiece that matches the opening we end up putting here and matches the opening here, so the vista, the view from either here or here is beautiful. We'll put seating back in this area because we found that we use that area a lot. There'll be some kind of plantings over here, I'm just not sure what yet. All the gray area, that's all walkway, pathway area. We're gonna keep it wide enough to get the gator up in here and probably in here. I don't think we're gonna need to get it back in here at any point, but anyway, we'll see how that goes once we, again, start measuring. And that will all be gravel. So there will be flagstones up here, and then there will be a step down into this area, which makes me so excited. Because with this being kind of roomed in with the boxwoods and then having it separated from this space by a step, it'll make it feel like 2 separate rooms, I think. And we're gonna be using winter gems for the main structures because I've got winter gems here that connect to the fireplace, which is right there. So the boxwoods start here, they kind of swoop around, we'll carry on with those. There'll be a brick or a concrete pillar on either side, and then we'll carry on with winter gems here. Another brick or concrete pillar here of some kind, pair, and then more winter gems, another pair of pillars, and then it'll stop here. And then this will be winter gems as well. The boxwoods that we're using in the formation behind and on either side will be green velvets. So we'll have a little bit of a different look from those. And you can see we are kind of mirroring the curve. So straight lines with a curve in the corner and then straight lines with the curve on the interior here. So I think it'll be really pleasing and it'll look put together, I think, in the end. When we get a little closer on it, you can see the palette walkway and how the current trajectory takes you out right here. So we are gonna pull up the palettes about right in here and then keep them going this direction. So we'll still have that palette walkway, and there'll be a lot more trees in this area, so hopefully in the end we'll have that kind of enclosed magical feeling like we had before. Behind each one of these formations, there's going to be 3 tall, thin, architectural, very strong structured evergreens. So it will also kind of room in this area a bit and make it feel a little bit separate from this space. I mean, you'll still feel like it's part of it because you'll be able to see through them a little bit, but it'll give it a little bit more distinction. I'll have matching trees here and then an arbor going out to the driveway. And I haven't decided if I'm going to match an arbor over here to lead you into this space. In that case, I think these are going to have to go. I don't know. Still thinking about what we need to do in this area. Oh yeah, you can see this picture was taken on May 8th. Okay, what else? Oh, the black rectangles back behind are benches, which will look out at the garden this way. And then there are 2 benches in between the groupings of evergreens on the sides that look in toward whatever we end up putting in the center, which might be a smaller water feature, a sculpture, a large container with something beautiful. I'm not sure yet. And then the black circles here will be large containers with some kind of a lollipop or a topiary of some kind to bring kind of that formality. I drew in a little bistro set because I thought that would be really sweet, especially once we have shade from it, like kind of overhanging this area. This area right here is a little bit tricky. We want it to be fairly balanced around the Hartley, but we also want it to work in with the informality we have going on around it because I don't want to change a whole lot of that. I mean, we can change some of the lines, but I like what we have going on in this area. We do want the 2 trees out here, so it's just a matter of, you know, what shape do we do this? How much grass do we leave in there? You can see me and the kids on the grass. This picture was taken on Mother's Day, actually. We were working on drawing out some other lines. I was going to do more boxwood beds like these in front, and I think it was just way too much. So anyway, we pared that down. So how was that for a long-winded explanation? I think it's going to be a really fun garden. I think it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to bring some major structure to this area. And maybe once we get this spot buttoned up, it'll give me more vision for what's behind. But we can pop out here and kind of take a look at a few spots. So as you're looking out this way, the centerpiece of the 4, boxed in areas will be right here, and that kind of like lines right up with the arb back there. So I just don't know what we're gonna do for sure. We might, blow all of that out, make a new entrance and just create a new space back there. I'm just not positive. I have a bench back here right now. This is the one by Benjamin's Butterfly Garden last year just to try it out. I actually really love the structure. I need something that's more stationary, not rocking though, because we will have gravel here. So we'll have the 2 benches on either side looking straight out, and then the same type of benches. So the benches will match. We'll have 4 of the same. 2 here, and then 1 on either side here. And then this is the spot that needs to be reworked in terms of grade. I think they just stayed away from this space right here because of the stake, but it made it to where this is like a huge, you can see we had a little bit of a leak, which that had nothing to do with the grading here. It's just that it settled there. But that would be a problem. If we had a leak and, had some work done right here, things planted, things would settle weird. And anyway, so we need to have this scraped and leveled back out. You can see where we've started to mark off where the boxwoods will be right here. This will be walkway. You'll come over here. There will be a step up with 2 pillars on either side, and there'll be a 6-foot opening here. More boxwoods will come down this way, and that's where the swoop thing will start and go around that direction. And then as you look up here, we'll have the circular whatever we end up doing right in this spot, the centerpiece. Really not a whole lot to look at other than, there are some structure pieces right here, but I'm hoping in the end that it all kind of marries together nicely. I think it will. Even with this spot being a little bit separate, having those strong evergreens, so we'll have 6 and 6 and then a bench between with something planted behind the bench, which will kind of hide this area in a way, and then we'll have another shade tree kind of between where the October Glory is and this red maple, so something like right in here. maybe a large evergreen of some kind. That would be quite nice. So it is coming together slowly but surely, and there are so many other things that we've been working on, focusing on, like so many beautiful things in the cut flower garden, planting in the south garden, garden maintenance, keeping things watered and alive is the main goal right now when it's so hot, that this hasn't been like the only thing that I have to focus on. And I have seen some comments saying something to the effect of, you know, isn't it driving you crazy that you haven't had any progress on there? Not really. I mean, there are days where I think, gosh, I would really like to not have powder dirt back here and start planting the boxwoods that we're watering every day out in the south garden. That would be quite nice, but we'll get there. I hope by the end of the season, at the very least, we have the boxwoods in, the gravel walkways in, maybe like the benches placed, something like that if we find the benches we like, and then the patio done where the brick patio used to be. I would love to have kind of the infrastructure stuff set so that maybe next year we could focus on a lot more fluff. So that's pretty much it with the Hartley. At this point, we're gonna head out to the cut flower shed. Okay, so here we are at the flower shed. So Benny's crew is out here putting in the irrigation for the orchard, which is so exciting, you guys. So let me pop over here since they're working on the other side so you can kind of see what's going on here. So we'll have 4 different zones. There will be a zone for containers and flower beds around the shed. There will be the sprinkler zones, of course. There's the hose here, and then we'll have a zone for all the berries that we have in tubs over on that side. But it's just coming along. I'm so excited about it. So you can kind of see where the pop-ups are going to be. So what these will do is they will pop up 12 inches because I'm going to have a grass in here that I let grow a little bit taller so that it will hopefully clear the grass. And then we have got one right in the center here. There's 3 along the edge, and then they, you know, are dotted along the back fence there. These guys, though, they're just amazing. I mean, out here where it's 104 degrees, working in this hot powder, there's something about this dirt. I don't know what it does, but it feels like it's baking your feet from underneath. It's just kind of brutal this time of year. But in terms of flower shed, you can see the clamps are still holding the windows together. We're still waiting on some proper hardware. And oh my goodness, I forgot I have a big mess in here. And that's the beauty of having a shed like this. I've been making arrangements on this table and I just throw my junk on the floor. And I'll just come through here occasionally when I have a pop-up bag with me and clean it up. You can kind of take a look around. It's just a little bit of a mess. So I just wanted to spend a little time in here, putting the shelves up in the hutches, putting things in the hutches that I want to save, and kind of going through my stuff and maybe rooting some things out to give away, make bouquets and give away. Maybe first before the others. We did pick up a couple of lights, you guys. These are just from Home Depot. We picked up this style just because I have to have something that attaches from the top and goes down because the light holes are pretty high. And these kind of match our house lights. They're not exactly what I wanted, but Erin always encourages me just to put something up, just put something in its place, and when you find the thing that you really like, then you can swap them out. But see how the holes are kind of high? So I needed something that would attach there and then kind of drop down a little bit. So I think those lights will work for now. And you can see that the walls are still raw. There's a raw tongue and groove here. I think I'm gonna probably paint them. I knew I wanted to from the very beginning. I decided to leave them raw for a while, just to live with it before I put something over the top of them. But you know, it's hard to take pictures when it's like real orange in the background. So it's a little bit more, you have to consider a few other details when you're doing photography or taking, you know, videos of things. So we'll probably leave it like this for a little while yet, just to make sure. And then I might do like it'll be a soft color. I don't know that I want to go white, but maybe like a soft green or something like that. I'm not sure. But I'm just prepping you now that that's probably going to happen. I know I'll probably hear a little bit of an outcry about that, but you got to have things the way you like it. So these hutches I bought far before this shed was done, and they've got these little things right here. I don't know what they're called. Anyway, we'll pop these in, get the shelves put in, and then I'm just gonna probably unpack all of the crates onto the table to kind of see everything that I have. Got 3 crates here, 2 crates here, and then just random things on tables and such. And then we can start organizing them all into the hutches. With the fans going and the door open in here, it actually feels really, really pleasant. Where did that just come from? That piece of wood just fell down. Where did that come from? That's not a good thing. Was that just sitting up on the windowsill? I hope so. I don't see a missing piece of wood anywhere. How weird. Oh, they've got sprinklers running. Whoa. Those are intense. My goodness. Woo. Yeah. definitely will clear the grass, and he said he'll have it directed away, you know, to where it won't hit the cut flower shed. In fact, I don't really see it hitting the flower shed at all, or the fence, but I think, I mean, we have so much breeze all the time, I still think they're gonna get oversprayed. They are adjusting everything right now, so I always kind of wait until the very end because they know what they're doing. All right, let's get things organized in here. Everything is out of crates and sitting here either on this tabletop or the small table right over there by the window. I actually had quite a number of other dishes in these hutches when we cleaned them out to get them ready to come out here. It was a lot of glassware, different types of cocktail glasses and plates and things like that. I saved those back in the house, and then I did run across a few candlesticks today that I'm going to take back in the house. So I should be able to fit most of these things, I'm hoping, in these hutches. And it'll be really nice to have a pretty assortment, just some random things out here that I can toss some flowers in, because this is where I do most of, or I'm planning on doing most of my arranging anyway, because I can make a big old mess and it doesn't matter, and a lot of the flowers are out here. I also, though, do have one other area in the house. It's up in our butler's pantry area. I've showed it to you guys in past videos. There are some built-in cupboards in there where I've got another selection, like another area where I've got a selection of vases too. So it'd be nice to have them in both spots. Kind of just pan over here. Do you remember when I did a succulent arrangement in this? A long time ago, like the cornucopia, yeah, long time ago. I've got some other pretty planters that I have used as vases. I just line them with plastic before I put water in. There's some champagne buckets, some other things, some things that you guys have sent out to me. A couple of mugs that I thought would actually make really cute vases. And then one of you guys sent me this. Isn't that so pretty with the English writing scene? Our landing inside is kind of equestrian themed. So it would be cute to have a little bouquet placed in that room with this pattern. Things that we have picked up on our antiquing trips. This was one of them. This was another one. Klaus Dalby sent me over some of his vases. Isn't that gorgeous? The shallow little footed vase. And these two right here. Well, I guess those two match and these two match. There's one other one that I have inside that I use a lot, like the most out of all three styles. It's a little bit, it's footed as well, and it's got a little bit bigger reservoir than that one. And there's some other things in here, teapots that I like to use as vases and so on and so forth. All right, let's get the shelves in and start arranging. All right, guys, all done. It looks so good. So much better. I did a quick clean of the floor. No more crates in here. I absolutely love it. Oh, I also just tossed a few snapdragons in a vase, just so you know. Got to have flowers in the cut flower shed. Let's start in this corner and just work our way around. So the chairs that you see in here, there are three. 1, 2, 3. Those are our old dining room chairs. I actually got 4 of them. There's one still in the house. I got all 4 of them for $120. And I recovered the chairs once, but they've been out here for a while, so they're completely gross. things outside just get dusty and dirty and gross really quickly. But that's the beauty of this being a shed. It doesn't even matter. I can recover them one of these days, probably with something a little darker than what's on them now, but doesn't matter. And then here's the light. I took one out of the box. I actually really like it. I think it goes with the style of our house lights really well. And let me hold it different. I think they're gonna be gorgeous right here. And if I happen to along the way find some of the lights that kind of match the original style I was going for, that'll be awesome, but I think these are gonna work beautifully. And these are the Wilkerson small exterior wall lanterns from Home Depot. So we'll get those hooked up here soon. I do have some, this is like decorative paper. It's not sticky or anything. You have to like glue it on or tack it up. I thought I would try putting a piece of that up right here if I wanted a different backdrop, and if it's just thumbtacked up, then I can just move it. So I might try that later, but on the top of this hutch, I've got some wiry things, wiry baskets that didn't quite fit in the hutch. So those went up there along with these dried grass seed heads. And then this is the blue vase I used. The blue vase I used for on the table was right here. But I've just got them all organized. Usually like 3, 4-ish per level. I put the heaviest one, which is this one right here, on the bottom, because I'm not sure how much weight these can take. Couple of baskets right here for harvest gathering. And then I've got some dried poppy seed heads up here. These are the ones I cut out of the front flower bed not long ago. They look pretty. And then let's take a look in this one. I think it looks good. I expect that some of these will end up inside and some of the inside ones will end up out here. So it'll probably be just a rotating or revolving shelves, I guess. I am missing, I've got this one balanced perfectly. I'm missing 2 of the little things, brackets. I think I know where they're at, but I don't know, we'll have to fix that later. And then down here in the bottom, I've got like wipes, which I use I always have these. These are adult washcloths. They're awesome to have in our studio and out here because of course they're like baby wipes, just bigger. So I use them on surfaces like this to keep them nice and tidy. I've also got crystals for the chandelier that I still have to put up in there. Light bulbs, there's some floral food. Probably shouldn't, oops. Well, I had that perfectly balanced. Oop, there we go. Should probably keep that on right side up. There's some fairy lights in there and some other stuff that just random ended up out here. Buckets to gather flowers, some Felcos, some berry baskets. And then I was able to clear everything off this table. This is the only thing, this like trophy urn, that didn't really fit on top of one of these, but it kind of looks appropriate all on its own right there. And this table was my mom's dad's, my grandpa's, who passed several years ago. So it's kind of a special table to have in here. One thing I am planning on doing, so we have a hose outside the shed, hose with the hose link. So I think what I'm gonna do is put a splitter on the faucet and I'm going to run a hose kind of just alongside the shed. And then right back here, I'm gonna keep my eye open for like an old potting bench that I'm gonna retrofit into like a vase cleaning station. So I'll put in like a little outdoor sink. It'll all just be run off of the hose, so I can just turn the hose on when I need to use it. But this is kind of the perfect space to tuck something like that in. And then in the vase, I put some iron white stock, I think, or cat's white stock. There's some apple blossom, snapdragons, and then this, I thought it was Potomac white, but it might be an ivory. Anyway, just simple and pretty. And that's it for today. I just wanted to give you guys an update on where we were at with the Hartley and the flower shed. We are currently using both structures, even though it doesn't really look like it because we just don't have things set up quite. I mean, this space right here looks far further along than it did just a little bit ago, which makes me very happy. It always, I don't know, it gives you a fresh inspiration when things are tidied up and you've got some tools out here that you know that you're going to be using. It just makes you want to be out here all the more. And I think by the end of this season, we'll be so much farther along on all of these things. I mean, the orchard water today, kind of getting that started. They are going to have to swap sprinklers out. I showed you how high they were spraying. I mean, they just were nailing the windows. See all the water spots there? I mean, that can happen today, but I can't have that happening all the time. I think that will cause some big problems for the wood siding and the wood windows, not to mention hard water on everything and hard water on the trees. So they are gonna be working on swapping some of those things out. I'll let you know what we end up with in the end. Even if I told them we could do something from underneath if we need to put like some type of bubbler, but put them more frequently than the sprinklers are, so that they can come up and just kind of like almost sub-irrigate in a way underneath the grass canopy once the grass grows. I don't know the best ways to do that. So it'll be interesting to see how it does end up, and I will let you know. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.